digital marketing analytics, measuring performance and optimizing results.
So, actually the topic of marketing analytics and performance analysis and optimization is very challenging and huge topic which is possible to speak about for hours. It's pretty hard, so that's why I would like to introduce our speakers today. It's a group of CEOs. So please welcome and your applause to Milan, Seva and Bartek. Yeah, like it's up to you guys. So as I mentioned, the guys are the CEOs. The Milan is the CEO for iGaming Marketing Agency. Seva is the CEO of Digital Marketing Agency, which is handling different type of verticals. And Bartek is very creative CEO of Influence Marketing Agency. So we will try to cover this hard topic from like different perspective. So I'll start with Milan, because he has huge experience with iGaming, and especially in terms of the, here we go, in terms of the optimizing the sites, in terms of the SEO. And most of you, if not all of you, probably instead of social media, you have the websites, and you probably are interested how to get that into the first page of Google search. So I think Milan will help us with that. Please, how to get that? What are the key elements of it?
Hello, everyone. Nice to have you here, and thank you for having me here as well. I'm Milan. I come from Serbia. I am the CEO of HIREQUARTERS, a digital marketing agency specializing in iGaming.
Okay.
We provide content and SEO services for our clients, most of whom are affiliates, and we've been around for the last 5 years. So, to answer your question, the question may be, it may sound simple, but the answer is complex, and there are different ways to answer it, but I'll try to stay as brief as possible. So, like I said, we provide content and SEO services, and even though I'm hearing from people here that influence marketing is getting big and more important by each passing day, I still think that SEO is the king.
Still relevant, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to promote your business, and it's especially a good way to promote your business long term. Like the word says itself, it's a long-term strategy, so the results are not coming shortly. You'll need to have some patience and dedication for the results to appear. And in order to get to the first page on Google, or as the first result on Google, it's a very tedious task. So you'll have to do certain strategies and dedicate to those. SEO is a very complex thing, so you have to focus not only on the technical part, but also on the content part as well. So we have clients that are both asking for services only content-wise,
SEO, yeah.
but some of those are asking for SEO services as well. If you are asked to provide SEO services, that means you have to pay attention to many more things than just the content. That means you have to study your competition, you have to find the relevant keywords based on your competition,
Okay.
and more.
How do you find these relevant keywords for the websites?
Just like I said, you have to study your competition first. So, to study your competition, it usually goes by using various tools. There are many of those on the web. Some are free, some are paid ones. So, in order to find relevant keywords, you have to study your competition. In order to study your competition, you have to use various tools. I don't want to name any of these. They are very popular. But yeah, after that, you have studied your competition, you can see what keywords they are using, and then you can choose your own ones that are not that used, but can still prove to be viable and profitable for you and your business.
And in terms of the content, I mean, is it possible that the content is okay but the keywords are like the main tool for popping the, boosting the page or on the first pages of Google.
Yeah, but to a certain extent. If you want to have a good organic promotion of your business, both the technical part and the content part has to be on have to be good
On the same level. So
on the same level.
So it's not
correct.
possible just to rely on one element of it. So it's always a mix.
You can, but you know, many people nowadays, when they are doing SEO, they either focus on the technical part in terms of the algorithm, and some businesses focus on the human part. What do I mean by that is that if you want to have a good piece of content, you have to pay attention to it, that it's read both by Google, by the algorithm, but by humans as well. So if you want to have a good piece of content, it has to be optimized in terms of SEO, meaning it has to have good keywords, good headings and subheadings, relevant images, but it also has to be informational and of high quality to the reader himself. So the reader that comes to the article wants to read it and spend some time on the very page. If he's spending more time on the page, that also reflects on your SEO, because one of the things that
So
is also
it's a bounce rate.
yeah, the bounce rate, correct. So it's not only about the keywords and your competition, it's also about how the visitors are doing on your website. What is their behavior?
Yeah,
If
what is their activity basically
Yeah,
on,
if
on
they're
the product you're using?
Yeah, if their activity is good, meaning they spend more time on the website, your website is loading fast, they will spend more time on it.
Okay.
They will dedicate more time and energy to it, so it also affects SEO as well. So content has to be good, like SEO as well. So yeah.
Okay, interesting. So if you guys will, you'll need some recommendation and advices how to boost your website, you can address your question to Milan. I'm asking Seva now about like a completely different part of it. Seva, I know, is working with big data. So they basically work with multiple of verticals, with a bunch of different cabinets and dashboards. So and sometimes it's not really possible, for at least for me, to deal with all that type of information. How do you handle it in your agency?
Hi everyone. Thank you, Arman, for the introduction. Thank you for the question. I want, first of all, to make a bridge from what Milan has said, and maybe help him with self-marketing a little bit. And yeah, SEO is really important, and it's not only important, but it's also complicated now. And one of the things, just to mention one of the trends that, like a couple of months ago, we had only Google to talk about. Now it's Bing already, you know, because of ChatGPT introduction. No, seriously, Bing registered more than 100 million unique users couple of weeks ago, and is incredibly on the rise. So now you have at least two big search platforms. Well, one big and one is emerging, rising, or coming back. So yeah, you have to deal with two of them. Now, talking about data, how we analyze data, our first advice to any client is you have to know, first you have to collect some data. So you have to allow a decent period of time. It's not like a small test campaign for 2 or 3 weeks, and then you just like, okay, I know everything about digital marketing. I know what works, what doesn't. It's not like that. It doesn't work like that. So you have to allow a decent period of time. Sometimes it's 2 months, 3 months. Sometimes it's half a year. We suggest that the best conclusions and takeaways you can make after a year of working, because there are huge amounts of data you have to consider, like seasonality, geography, change of interests of your audience over the time depending on seasonalities, change in media consumption. For example, in hot season, in summer, mobile devices are consumed much more in percentage than they are in winter. This is just a couple of evident stuff to name a few, yeah?
Yeah, can I interrupt you? I mean, how do you technically are actually capable to track all of this?
Just
And in terms of the processes, like the tools and the people.
there are all the tools, the beautiful GA4, Google Analytics 4, and everything, all of the advertising, all of the data that you can parse from the advertising account. Like, for example, how it is built in our company. Over the time, we have noticed that that the amount of data and the amount of work that needs to be done to process it is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and which results in, the people's brains are lazy, so they start omitting some stuff, so start just missing on some important information. So, for example, how we solve this issue, we developed an internal software that one of the features is tracking, parsing all of the data from all of the advertising accounts, from social, from Google, from programmatic, from CPA networks and everything. And then you have all the data from different channels, and you can make, the most important thing that you can make with data is not just analyzing historical data, but making some benchmark and forecast for your next activities. So that you are launching your next campaign, you understand like which formats, which traffic sources, be it mobile or desktop or anything else, depending on the geography, depending on the seasonality, depending on the industry even, yeah, because we work across several industries. The data is anonymous, but you can always talk how industry specifics influences, for example, the CPA for particular campaign.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and also like the question would be, for example, let's imagine that you're launching one ad campaign. You set up the targets, everything, and the final output is negative. How do you identify what was the reason? Was it the human factor of the fail, or was it the creatives that were not attractive enough, or it's itself the offer, the final landing page is not attractive, it's not converting completely? How do I identify that it's not the fault of your company, but the fault of the, let's say, advertiser?
Well, of course, it's very complicated and subjective to a lot of, to some extent, yeah. But first of all, it's important to set expectations properly. Again, like I said, if you promise your client that he will spend 500 euros over 2 weeks, and you will define the best CPA for the company, to me it sounds like a fraud, honestly. I think that let's not talk about particular digits, but I think that the valid, legit test campaign for smaller geographies or some, just to get a grasp of what is happening, start somewhere from 2,000 or 3,000 euros is already something you can, it allows you to get some data that you can analyze. Of course, the better is more. Like I mentioned, if you run campaigns for 1 year, then you have a lot of a great deal of data and a lot of stuff. The more you market, the more you collect information. So that's one thing. Then there are a lot of indexes in the same GA, for example, like bounce rate. Yeah. So if you're driving a lot of traffic, but then your bounce rate is like 90%, then there's probably a problem with either of the message. So either you didn't set the right targeting and or didn't provide the right message to the people, or there is some problem with your with the funnel after the user clicks and gets to the landing page. So there might be problems with the funnel, and there might be many. Yeah. So like SEO specialists, they will tell you whether your page is too slow to load, or whether your conversion is not, your funnel is not very visible on the website. Yeah, what you need to do or stuff. Sometimes it's the problem on the agency side, obviously. So, for example, when you did not collect enough data from the A/B testing to tell which message for which audiences performs better, or for example, your agency set up very narrow targeting, very narrow, like you're targeting. You used a lot of multiple filters, Like you did the targeting very professionally,
So
but
you
then
narrow,
your audience,
narrow down the
you
targets.
narrow
Yeah.
down the audience to like 2,000 or 3,000 people, yeah. And then it is important to know that the narrower the targetings are for advertising, the more traffic will go just to waste, because the system doesn't work that way. The systems usually are interested in big figures. So if you want to target just 2,000 or 3,000 people, just be ready that 90% of the traffic will be from somewhere else, not from these 2,000 or 3,000 people.
Interesting artifact. So in terms of the data analysis, it's all about, you know, at least what I hear from you, it's a kind of very systematic data. So you have to kind of obtain the analytical skills, how to actually measure all that and make a forecast. But my next question would be to Bartek about more maybe creative approaches toward optimizing the processes for the better performance of the net campaigns. Do you have any comments about that?
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, I always love to innovate and look for solutions that no one is using yet. And I started my influencer marketing agency 8 years ago when influencer was still not a thing. So I was even the guy who was bringing TikTok by the time it was called Musical.ly. I was bringing it to Poland, so we started all those campaigns with TikTok. I created most of the TikTokers in Polish, Czech Republic, Slovakian market. So I always look for something that everyone is saying, hey, it's not gonna be big. Because when I was going on the conferences, I think 6-7 years ago, talking about the TikTok, everyone was saying, hey, this is for the kids, this is a shit, like look at this content, they're only dancing there. Because back then, people were only dancing on TikTok. And now all the brands are coming to us and they want their TikTok channel and everyone is crazy, and now there's so many e-commerce tools also integrated in TikTok. So now when I look into some really big innovation, I would say Web3. And Web3, what I understand by Web3, we understand it as a crypto NFT, but it's also ChatGPT, like everything connected to AI and all those stuff. But we're really focusing on Web3. And what we are building, what we did is we are using NFTs and we are using a Web3 infrastructure, a blockchain, to help e-commerce get better conversion of their sales. So literally when you are selling a t-shirt or any other physical product, just to upsell or just to add as a benefit to your customers, you are creating this digital version of this product. And this digital version is, of course, certificate of authenticity, which is helping a lot of brands. You know, if we talk about Louis Vuitton and all those brands, they never solve the problem of the fake clothes, never. There's still a big problem. They were trying to use many technology, but here the blockchain is totally the answer. So first of all, you can certify, you can prove that you really own, you bought the real one in the company. And second of all, what I really believe is the future. The social media will migrate to 3D social media, and we will be bringing stuff to those 3D social media with us. So in the future, I know most people don't believe in metaverse, but there are many other metaverse which are starting to go really good, and the gaming industry is growing so fast. So I really believe in the future, if you buy a car, you would like to take this car also with you to the metaverses, which will be like a kind of a future social media. And what we're doing now, it's also when you buy this hoodie, you get the 3D digital hoodie, you can put it on your avatar, you can take it to the metaverse, you can take it to the game. So you can imagine
What about depositing into the iGaming products? Do you think, is it possible to integrate this technology into the existing iGaming brands product?
Yeah, of course, we were talking about it yesterday. So the use case of this technology is so big because we got like so many different use cases of the blockchain. One of it, I think, for iGaming, which is really cool, is it's kind of a loyalty system, but also NFT that are upgrading your profile. So for example, you do more iGaming and your NFT is somehow growing. It gives you, once you are, let's say, level 5, you are getting access to the events. Once you are level 10, you are getting, I don't know, extra dinner with a founder or something like that. So there is so many plenty things you can implement in the blockchain by just using NFTs and Web3, and that's what I'm focusing on.
Okay, great. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, we are running out of time. So first of all, I would like to appreciate that you listen to us, and if you have any questions to each of us or to our group, you can always catch up in the conference. We'll be somewhere around. And thank you very much, and thank you, Sigma, for having us here. I wish you a great productive day, and good luck to you in all your businesses and projects. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.